Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for a late night Q&A. It's like dark up in here. It's actually not really that dark outside yet, but it looks dark in here, probably because of the light. But Q&A time. This is a really good Q&A if you want to get caught up on everything life. I'm answering a lot of questions, a question that I've dodged in the past that I'm going to answer in today's video. If you're brand new to my channel, this is a really good Q&A to watch. There's going to be a lot of information in this Q&A. From what I'm seeing, a lot of good questions that cover a lot of aspects of me and who I am in my life. But if you're new, very quick synopsis. Very quick. I'm a wife, I'm a stay-at-home mom and full-time college student. My husband's deployed overseas. I have a 10-year-old bonus daughter from my husband's first marriage. I have a 5-year-old daughter with my husband, and we also have almost 9-month-old twins, boy-girl twins, and a dog laying here on the floor watching my every move. And we currently live in Iowa, and in December I am moving my daughter and twins to my parents' house in Alabama so I can go to nursing school down there while my husband is deployed overseas for the next year. And after he gets home about halfway through nursing school, we will live a long distance marriage for that year, going back and forth and making it work. So here we are. That's a mouthful, and you probably think that I'm crazy right now, but let's get into the Q&A. Okay, ready? Here we go. First question, are you excited or nervous about moving to Alabama, or are you both? Definitely both. I think the excitement is the most obvious because I talk about it and I'm, getting things ready. I feel very blessed to know that I'll have my parents this deployment. I had basically no one last deployment except for my one deployed spouse friend, who I'm definitely gonna miss this deployment because she lives here in Iowa. But I know it's a blessing that I'll have my parents for support and for help. And since I am going down there, I'm excited about nursing school and being one step closer to my career goal, which is getting my master's in forensics down the road. I have 4 years of school starting, or 4 to 4.5 years of school starting like now. I'm already in school this semester full time. So I'm excited. Don't get me wrong. I'm super excited. However, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous. I am leaving my house. I haven't lived with my parents for 11 years, and I own a house in Iowa with my husband, and I have a 2-story plus basement house that I have free reign of, and I'm moving to my parents' house where I have a bedroom and my kids have a bedroom, and that's our space. And of course I feel comfortable going in the living room, using their office or whatever, but it's a lot different when you're used to having your own house and then you move and you have like your 2 rooms pretty much. And my parents are so nice about letting me live there, and I'm very grateful to them because it's just going to be the biggest help ever. And that's the reason why I'm nervous, because I don't know, I know the adjustment it's going to take, and it makes me very nervous. Now this next question is kind of related to that, and it's like a couple slides over. Someone said, why don't you guys plan on getting an apartment for you to live in while you're in Alabama for school? A couple questions that were like this. Here's the deal, and I want to be as delicate with this as possible because I don't know. I think people just are like, oh, just buy an apartment, live in an apartment down there. But just because you can afford to live in an apartment and not stay in your parents' house, to me it makes 0 sense to do that. For one, having my parents in the home with me is going to be helpful. If I'm studying in the office and my kids are around, at least my parents can keep an eye on them for me. They can help with like daily tasks if they want to. My mom is so hands-on, she wants to help. But it also doesn't make sense because we're going to be still paying our mortgage on our house. Our house is still going to be here. It's not going to be like we're selling it or whatever. And my plan is to save the most amount of money. We plan on buying our long-term or even forever house after the deployment is over. And if I'm spending, $800 a month on rent plus extra, so like $1,000 a month on an apartment for 2 years, that's like $24,000 I could be putting towards a down payment for my house. It just doesn't make sense to me to throw away money for rent when you don't own the place. And it just doesn't make sense to me. So I get that some of you guys are trying to be helpful, saying that it's going to be hard to live with my parents. And I agree. There's going to be times that it's probably very hard, but it's all going to be worth it. And they are being extremely gracious, letting me live there for free with my kids. And you know, I'm taking advantage of that. Anyway, so sorry guys, that's like half the Q&A right there. The next question is, how do you manage working out, school, and mom life? So I do have help with the kids. Before my husband was deployed, he did not go to work after September. So I think the last third week of September was his last week of actually working for the hospital. So he is National Guard. He has a normal job and then he has the National Guard. So he flies for a hospital as his normal job and then he flies for the Army National Guard as well. He was home a lot during that time to help me take the kids when I was in school. And now that he's no longer an option to be here, his mom helps me on Wednesdays, and we have a part-time nanny that comes in and helps. But the twins actually start daycare on the 21st, and that's going to be a hard day for me, giving both babies to this daycare. It makes me extremely nervous. I've been there a couple times already to see it, just like keep going back to make sure this is right. I've already paid and everything for them to start, and I need to just like suck it up. They're only going to be at this daycare, I think, for 7 weeks because my semester will finish, and as soon as it's finished, they are done going to daycare. I rather would have them with me, and my 5-year-old is in school, and so is our 10-year-old. So it's just the twins I have to find care for, which is very expensive, but it's only 7 weeks that they'll be in actual daycare, and then the rest of the time they'll be with mom. And then when I move to Alabama, they will also go to daycare because at that point I will be in school full-time in the actual nursing program. And then my mother and stepdad will be there as backup if I need them. Next question. I find it hard being a mom and a student? Absolutely. You know, when the kids are awake, when the babies are awake during the day, I'm with them. I'm dedicated to them, doing whatever with them, playing with them, feeding them, changing them, laying on the floor with them, doing whatever. When they're napping though, instead of me having that free TV time, that free time to make a snack, if you will, paint my nails, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm trying to study, writing down notes, 3 different classes. I have a full-time, all 3 classes are 4 credits, so I have a 12 credit semester, which is like a full time, I guess. And I have 2 sciences, so that's a lot of time and effort. So I'm busy, and the nap times or my free time is gone, and I'm going to bed later because I'm up late studying, and it's hard to balance, but it's about giving up things for now so you can get what you want later. I really believe that slogan of suffer now, get what you want later. It's going to be worth it in the end. That's just what I keep telling myself. So, and when I move, when I have my parents, I will have a little bit extra free time. Say if I want to one night randomly just go to the movies by myself, because I love going to the movies by myself. It's my favorite thing to do. I like going alone to the movies, no one to bother me, and I plan on doing that as like my me time every now and then. But working out, there's a daycare inside the gym, and it's like I can almost see it every time that I'm working out on the equipment that I work out on. So I feel good about that too, because I can actually see what's going on in there. Okay, next question. Am I still breastfeeding? No, I'm not breastfeeding. I had not talked about this on my channel because I know that there's a lot of different opinions out there. Now, I have twins, so it wasn't necessarily, I don't know how to put this. I think breastfeeding twins is harder because you have a lot of that pressure to like feed 2 babies. I only had to breastfeed Winslet because Rafe he had a dairy allergy, which now he doesn't have that. So I'm not sure if he ever actually had it or not, but that's what we were told from the beginning. So he was on breast milk and formula at first, then switched over to formula. Winslet was on breast milk the entire time, and then I stopped breastfeeding around 5 months, and then she had enough of my breast milk until about 6.5 to 7 months. They're now almost 9 months, so she now gets formula with her brother, and they both are on solid foods now. We started solid foods around 6 months, which corrected they would have been only 5 months. So that's kind of the feeding situation going on with them right now, and it's great. I definitely miss breastfeeding because she was so good at it, but because I mostly was only pumping because I was scared that she wasn't getting enough, because they were smaller babies, that kind of hindered me a lot too, because once they started sleeping a lot during the night, I was finding it harder to wake up, and when you have to care for 2 babies, you need all the rest that you can possibly get. And if it wasn't for my husband being home a lot overnight and staying up and helping me, I would not have lasted as long as I did. So props to him. He really helped me make it through even that long, and I'm proud of myself for making it that far. Okay, this question I love. It's so different than the rest of them, but someone asked, now that you know the twins, if you had to name them again, would you? So if I absolutely had to, then yes, I have like ideas of what I would, if like today it was like, those names are like banned, you have to pick something else. I have names that I would pick. If they gave me a choice, I definitely wouldn't rename them. I feel like I just know them as their names now, and they just fit their names. But if I had to rename them, lately I've been looking at Winslet, and I think she looks like a Prue to me. Prue, you guys know I love that name. I've talked about it maybe a handful of times on my channel. I just think it's the prettiest feminine girl name. And I think that she looks like one. Like if I met her and that was her name, and like someone's like, oh, her name is Prue, I would be like, yes, she fits that name. She looks like one. And she's really sweet and kind of sassy, and that's kind of how I picture someone named Prue. Now, Rafferty, I feel like I don't know what else to name him, because he's always been that. Even like years before I ever thought I'd have a son, I always knew it was going to be Rafferty or Rafe. But lately I've been thinking about the name Cohen, and I really like that name, and I like that you could call him Coco, even though he probably would hate it as he got older. So if I had to choose different names, I would probably go with Prue and Cohen. But I love their names, so I definitely wouldn't change them if I was given a choice. Okay, next question is, what are my kids going to be for Halloween? So Paige, our oldest, is going to be the game of Twister, which is really super cute. And Aniston, oh my gosh, I'm almost embarrassed to say this. You guys know how much, if you're new to my channel, you don't know this, but if you followed me for a while, especially on Instagram, you guys know I love Live PD. I live for Live PD and all the spinoffs. I just like watch in amazement. Like, it's so interesting. I love when people flee from the cops and they chase them. I love it. It's so funny and I love it. But Aniston wants to be, or she is going to be, a Live PD police officer. So to make this possible, I did buy her a police uniform, and it has like all the parts and pieces. And I'm going to be wearing a Live PD shirt and carrying around my old video camera like I'm filming her for Live PD. And I'm not going to dress the twins up this year because it's going to be really cold on Halloween here. It's usually very cold, and I want them to be as comfortable as possible. So they're going to be in blankets, and if it's windy, I have to put on their car seat covers, and I just don't want them to be absolutely miserable. So I'm not going to dress them up this year. Definitely next year I will, and I have some ideas already of like what I want, because I'm just like, boy girl twins is perfect for like Halloween costumes. But this year, unfortunately, I won't. I just care more about them being comfortable and warm than anything else. Okay, next question is, how long's your husband been deployed, and how long's he been in the Army, and how long we have been together? So he has been deployed. He like just left like recently. So I won't see him again until next year, around this time of year. Except, well, sometimes we can FaceTime, so it's not like I won't ever see him, but not in real life at least. He's been in the Army for almost 20 years. He'll hit 20 years while he's deployed. So he will have that like big R retirement option if he wants that option. I don't think he wants to retire yet, so we'll play that by ear. And then we've been together for 7 years, right? 7 years in July, this past July. We've been married for 6 years, together for 7. Okay, my camera like cuts off after like 22 minutes, and I don't know why it's doing that. But, next question. Did you always know you wanted a big family / children? Probably lots of children. Yes, I always knew I wanted 4 kids, and we have 4 now, so I'm happy with that right now. That could change. I don't know yet. But yes, I always knew I wanted 4 kids. That was always my thing. Next question. How did you and your husband meet? We met on the beach in Florida and then ran into each other months later in Alabama on Fort Rucker. There's actually a story about this and my husband actually explains it. So I'll put that video down below if you've never seen him and haven't seen that video. He actually explains it in a video, so I'll link that down below. This one is so funny, and actually I got this question a couple times and I was kind of surprised. It says, since your husband, or when your husband, how many times a week would you say y'all have sexy time? I don't really think it's changed that much since having twins, except for in the beginning when we weren't sleeping for like 2 or 3 months. But when he was home, like twice a week, 3 times a week, I mean, I think we're pretty average people. I mean, like, I don't know, awkward, but yeah. The next question is, what made you want to start a YouTube channel? I just wanted to start a YouTube channel because I wanted a baby name channel. I love names and their origins, and I love SJ Strum on here on YouTube. I kind of wanted to be like a baby name expert channel. But then I decided to share my infertility journey and then came here, and yeah, I just kept doing it because I liked it and met a lot of people, and it just felt like a really good community that I was starting, and I didn't just want to ghost everyone and disappear after I got pregnant, especially with the twins. So here I am still doing it. And the second part of that question was also, what are your goals with YouTube? And there are a lot of questions about this, and I have to address this. And this is not going to sound polite to some people, and I hate to disclaim that because it might sound fine to you, but there was a lot of questions on here. Why don't you do YouTube full-time? Will you ever do YouTube full-time? Here's the deal with that. I love YouTube, you guys. I have something in my eye. That's why I keep blinking. I love YouTube, and I love making videos, and I never thought that my channel would ever grow to like even 1,000, much less where it's at now. And I love that I have this like still relatively small community, and you know, my channel has been growing very slow and steady over the past few years, and I like it because I feel like when someone comes onto this channel and they've subscribed and they're new, I try to I recognize the newer people every time, and I can also recognize who's been here for a long time. And I love this community, I really do. However, I still plan on doing YouTube, and I'll do it as long as I still like doing it, but I don't want YouTube to be my job. I just don't think I would honestly be fulfilled being a YouTuber or being like a social media influencer. And if someone else loves it, there's a lot of people on here who are YouTubers for their career, and that if that fulfills them, that is awesome. I want people to do whatever they want to make them happy, but my career goals aren't like, I don't love broadcast journalism, and I don't love, like, you know, I don't know what you call this. I don't love it enough to want to do it the rest of my life or to rely on it. I don't feel like I would feel comfortable relying on that to feed my family if my husband ever like lost his job or something. And my whole life I've known what I wanted to do, and that was to work behind the scenes in labs, like forensic labs, or you know, whatever, what I'm working towards now, of course. And that's always been my dream. And I don't want to let go of that dream because YouTube is fun, and because I feel like it's going to be a lot easier work staying here than doing the career that I want. I want to make my dream come true. And unfortunately, that's not YouTube. But I do like YouTube a lot, and it is fun every now and then to make a little bit of money off of it. Buy a sponsorship. I think I've done 3 or 4 total in the past 2 or 3 years, and I love it because I don't feel pressure to say yes because I rely on that money. And I think it's sweet that you guys would love to see me be a full-time YouTuber. I'm flattered that you guys like my channel. I really am. I'm just like, thank you guys for all being here and following my journey and being, you know, positive in the comments. But I definitely wouldn't be fulfilled being a YouTuber because my dreams are just a different kind of career. So I hope that doesn't hurt anyone's feelings. I think that people who want to do YouTube and can have a full-time job from it is fantastic. I think it's so awesome for those who want to stay home with their kids. It's great. It's great for that. But like I said, it's just not the career that I envision for myself. Okay. So hello. Now I feel like people are going to come at me for that. Next question is, was my husband my first partner? No. Next question is, how did I study for the nursing entrance exam? I made an 82 on the T's, which is actually a pretty high score, and I actually was kind of shocked when she told me what I made. I did take it twice. The first time I made a 74, took it again, made an 82. And I studied just by the manuals, the Mometrics manuals and the ATIT's manuals. And okay, this question too, I get all the time about more kids. Everyone who does Q&As always gets asked if they want to have more kids, and I've never answered this before because I've been asked a lot. I'm sure you guys know that you've probably asked before, and I've never answered it because the real reason why I don't answer is because I don't know the answer. I'm not sure if we're done or not. We do have another embryo, but I personally don't just want to use it just because it's there. I want to use it because I truly want to grow my family, and I'm just not there right now. I have a few years of school ahead of me, so I don't know what's going to happen yet. We still have it. It's still on ice, frozen, so don't worry about that. We still have the little M baby, but right now I just don't have an answer for you. Okay, you guys hear Winslet, she's awake. I have to go like one more question, I have to leave. The next question, or I guess last question I'll answer. I'm trying to find a really good one. Okay, this one right here. This is one that someone asked me, which is different than the rest of the questions. And I don't think she was being mean. I think she was just curious. She asked, how would you feel if your daughters wanted to get lip injections? So I've been really open about my journey of plastic surgery. Lip injections I've had. I do plan on them in the future at some point. If my daughters came to me and wanted them, for one, they paying for it themselves. I would never pay for them to do that. 2, they would have to be 18 or older because I would never sign for that. 3, I definitely wouldn't encourage it if they were that young. I think 18 is really young to make decisions like that. However, if they were dead set and they were going to do it, the only thing that I could do is try to be supportive and try to be there for them, as in giving them my best advice, going with them to the doctor and making sure it's a really good fit for them. But again, I definitely wouldn't encourage it, especially if they were like young. Now, if they were like me and my age and suffered from esteem issues, because, you know, they all have beautiful lips, so I don't see why they're gonna need them. I just didn't have an upper lip at all. But truthfully, all I could do is just be supportive and not encourage it, but if they're gonna do it, just be there for them. I mean, that's all you can do as a mom. I mean, I think that moms are faced with decisions like that all the time, where, you know, I wanted to marry Brian after 6 months, and my mom was kind of like, okay, you know, let me support you, even though I feel like you should wait longer, let me support you. So that kind of thing, I think moms are faced with that no matter what it is. So that's kind of why I wanted to answer that question. But that's going to be all for this video. I hope that answers all the questions. At least those are a lot of the major questions that I get. Besides that last one, that was interesting, but I wanted to answer that one too. So that's going to be all for this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.